been about cover-up. And so we will no longer allow U.S. EPA to cover up their mess. We're bringing them out. We're calling them forth. And so it's the spill. Some of the worst contaminants known to man has spilled into the San Juan River, the lifeblood of the Navajo Nation. It was not just the U.S. EPA's responsibility. We know that. We know that contractors that work the Gold Key mine and other mines up there, they were also negligent and they were reckless. And a lot of those are just abandoned. The same thing they did with uranium mines. They just abandoned those mines. Some of them are still open. We're still suffering from that. The owners whose mines caused the buildup of toxic wastewater and who stripped the precious metal out of those mines while leaving the waste for someone else to deal with must also be held responsible. So those people that mine those, the Gold Key mine, we will hold them responsible also. Our friends in Congress have been leading the effort to initiate a criminal investigation for which we appreciate, and we make that statement in the past, the investigation into the Gold Key mine spill, and for that we are grateful. But to this day, no one has been held accountable. No one has paid up. No one has ante up for causing this environmental, financial, and spiritual catastrophe for the Navajo people. And in fact, the trust between the Navajo Nation and the U.S. EPA has deteriorated significantly as a result. And so they themselves, the U.S. EPA from the beginning, we trusted them. We felt that there are the Environmental Protection Agency. They told us that is in their heading, it's in their title. We felt that they were going to protect us, but they had done exactly the opposite. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, has not been that agency to the Navajo Nation regarding the Gold Key mine spill. Over the past year, the Navajo Nation has repeatedly sought one thing: full, fair, and fast recovery for itself and its people. And yet, request after request has been denied. And what have we asked for? And I'm the one that send the letters. I'm the one that make those requests as president of the Navajo Nation with the vice president. We saw first, we said, we want the farmers to be compensated. They're the most hurt. They're the ones that lost revenue. They're the ones that lost the crop. They're the ones that don't trust the river anymore. They're the ones that want us to hold U.S. EPA responsible for what they've done, for what they've caused. They have not seen. We have heard and seen the tears, we've heard the cries, we've heard the anger, we heard the anguish, we heard the loss of trust, and we are saying is that we want those farmers compensated now. We don't want EPA to wait until a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, and God forbid that it be 10 years down the road. We want the farmers compensated now. We don't want them to hold back any longer. So they are the number one priority for us, is that the farmers be compensated.
About a year ago today, we stood here at the banks of this river with Administrator McCarthy. And she told us, and she's the head of the US EPA, and she told us that she will do everything in her power to assist the farmers, the ranchers, the individuals who are directly impacted by the Gold Key mine spill. But we believe here today, the Navajo Nation, she didn't do much for our people. I was in Silverton, Colorado on Saturday, looking at the river there, the stream. You know, President mentioned we were at the mouth of the cave where the spill happened. And on Saturday, the river, the stream there, was still yellow. It wasn't as yellow as when it started a year ago, but it was still yellow. And so the president is correct. What is the long-term health effects from all these contaminants that are going into this river? We will not know now. We will not know maybe even 5 years down the road, but we will see that maybe 20, 50 years down the road. And that concerns us as leaders here on the Navajo Nation. And so Yellow Water, Putitso, will always be a point in our history that our people were hurt. And we will always remember that. But we need to hold the federal government accountable. And that's